Welcome back to Google Class. Today I am going to take Indian Penal Code. Last Google Class section 304B. Okay. I think we discussed 304B, that is dowry death. Okay. Now the same dowry chapter only. So today class, meaning of the dowry and its related cases. Okay, 304B. Here section 304B, dowry. What is the meaning of dowry? The dowry means for the purpose of this section, dowry only, it means shall have the same meaning in section 2 of the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. 304B is IPC and section 2 of the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961 is Central Act. Okay, so it describe or it explain dowry means any property or valuable security given or agreed to be given either directly or indirectly by one party to a marriage to the other party to the marriage, or by the parent of either party to a marriage or by any other person to either party to the marriage or to any other person at or before, okay, or any time after the either party, okay, any time either party in connection with the marriage of the said parties, but also not include dower, magar, DOWER, dower or magar. Okay, in the case of persons to whom the Muslim personal law, okay, shall applies. From the above definition, it is clear that dowry means any property or valuable security given or agreed to be given either directly or indirectly by one party to another, by parents of either party to each other or any other person at before or at any time after the marriage in connection with the marriage of the said parties, but does not include dower or magar under the Muslim personal law. Okay, now got it, this definition. This is section explained, section 2 of the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961 explained. So all the expressions used under these sections are of a very wide magnitude. The expression or any time after the marriage and in connection with the marriage of the said parties were introduced by Amending Act 63 of 1984, same Amending Act, and Act 43 of 1986 with the effect from 2nd October 1985 and 19th November 1986 respectively. Okay, so these amendments appear to have been made with the intention to cover all demands at the time before and even after the marriage, so far they were in connection with the marriage of the said parties. This clearly shows the intention of the legislature that these expressions are of wide meaning and scope. The expression in connection with the marriage cannot be given a restricted or narrow meaning. The expression in connection with the marriage, even in common parlance and on its plain language, has to be understood generally. The object being that everything which is offending at any time. Okay, that is before or after the marriage would be covered under this definition, but the demand of dowry has to be in connection with the marriage and not so customary that would not attract. On the face of it, the provision of this section, the payments which are customary payments, for example, given at the time of birth of a child or other ceremonies as are prevalent in the society or families of the marriage, would not be covered under the expression dowry. Furnishing a list of ornaments and other household articles such as refrigerator, that is fridge, furniture and electrical appliances and etc. to the parents or guardians of the bride. At the time of settlement of the marriage, prima facie amounts to demand of dowry within the meaning of section 2 of this act, 2 of this Dowry Prohibition Act. Okay, the definition of dowry is not restricted to agreement or demand for payment of dowry before and at the time of marriage, but even include subsequent demands. The facts revealed one case, a saga of atrocities. The facts revealed a saga, S-A-G, a saga of atrocities for a few items by way of dowry. The father and brother came to see her, but they were driven out and she was not permitted to go with them. The only question that required consideration was whether the death was natural or otherwise. Certain facts convinced the court that she was not claimed by a natural death. Her parents and brothers were not even informed soon after her death, and she was hurriedly cremated. Okay, this cremated the presumption of unnatural death under section 113B of the Indian Evidence Act 1872. Okay, before the court. The court found no evidence for the projected theory of heart attack and said, if it was natural death, there was no need for the appellants to act in such unnatural manner and cremate the body in great and unholy haste without even informing the parents. Because of the cremation, no post-mortem could be conducted and the actual cause of death could not be established clearly. There is absolutely no material to indicate even remotely that it was a case of natural death. It is nobody case that it was accidental death. In the result, it was an unnatural death, either homicidal or suicidal, but even assuming that it is a case of suicide, it would be death which had occurred in unnatural circumstance. Even in such a section, 304B is attracted and this portion is not disputed. Okay, therefore the prosecution has established that the appellants have committed an offence punishable under section 304B beyond all reasonable doubt. The prosecution was that of the mother-in-law and wife of the husband's brother. The latter was only of 20 years of the age, the time of trial. Cruelty by these two women was established, but there was no evidence to show what part was played by one or other in bringing about the death. Both were women In this case, the court reduced the sentence of life imprisonment to 7 years of rigorous imprisonment for each of the accused. Okay. In this connection, the Supreme Court has again observed the death otherwise than in normal circumstances would mean that the death was not in the usual course but apparently under suspicious circumstances. If it was not caused burn or bodily injury, death of a woman by suicide occurring within 7 years of marriage cannot be described as occurring in normal circumstances. Okay. And another thing, the in-laws of the deceased woman could not be robbed in just only because they were close relatives. The overt acts which are attributed to them would require to prove beyond reasonable doubt. So it is not necessary for the purpose of the offense under this section to show that there was an agreement for payment of dowry. Okay, this is what saying dowry meaning. I think now it's understand, it is clearly as per this version. Okay. Okay student, will see you again next video class, the same topic and different mode of explanation. Okay, this portion is very big, but I will give you a short method. It is easy to understand. Okay, thank you student. Bye, take care.